Hey, this is Enoch. It's day 4 of Native American History Month, and today I thought I would share with you some Native American artists who are contemporary Native American artists that you might be interested in learning more about and maybe listening to, reading, and or watching their movies. First artist I want to talk to you about is an artist from Alaska. It's a band from Alaska called Medicine Dream. I love Medicine Dream. I fell in love with them, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago. They have 3 albums. Their albums are really fantastic. The nice thing I like about Medicine Dream is that they're a nice blend of Native American culture with contemporary music. So, along with all the guitars and the drums and bass and sounds of modern-day contemporary artists, they infuse all the cultural nature of Native Americans, like chanting, the flutes, and if you ever see them in concerts, they'll have dancers and they'll have drum circles and everything else around them. So, Medicine Dream, once again, one of my favorite artists. I really dig them. From Alaska, you can take them look. They're on iTunes. They're out there on the net. So, medicinedream.com. Really fantastic band. I love them. If you're interested in watching movies about Native Americans outside of Kevin Costner's Dances with Wolves, which is a fantastic film, there is movies that Native Americans direct. We're not as broad a spectrum, so you won't see us in the Oscars anytime soon, but we are trying to get out there more. This movie, Smoke Signals, is the very first Native American production that's all Native. There is very little help on it. This is a film directed by a guy named Chris Eyre. Chris Eyre is a really prominent Native American director. He has worked primarily, this film was part of the Sundance Project, where Robert Redford opened up the indigenous, I can't remember, it's the Indigenous Film Group out of Sundance, where he wanted to work with indigenous cultures and get their directors to actually share their stories more. Chris Eyre was the very first project out of that, with Smoke Signals. This is a fantastic film. It features Adam Beach, which you may recognize from Law & Order SVU, or his work on Wind Talkers with Nick Cage. But it also has one of my favorite artists of all time, actresses, Irene Bedard. I'm in love with Irene Bedard. If she's listening or ever pays attention to any of this stuff, just know I love you. You're awesome. I fell in love with her. She was the voice of Pocahontas. She's been in a number of Chris Eyre films. She's just a fantastic actress. I think the world of her. This story was written by Native American author Sherman Alexie, which a lot of people have heard about because he's a very prominent Native American writer. The music behind it is, I can't remember the guy's name now. It's C.B. Bear does the music. Also with the music of Jim Boyd, which is another very prominent Native American musician. So, Smoke Signals, all Native cast, really fun movie. It's rated PG-13, but it's a great little family flick. It deals with life and death and other issues, and just has a bunch of Native jokes inside of it that you may not get unless you're Native, and some people will get, even if they're not. So I love it. The third thing I want to share with you is this book. I wish I had the jacket cover, but I lost it because I read this book a couple times now, and I love it. The book is called, let me see if I can get the title page for you. The book is called Roanoke. I don't know how many people out there remember their history, but Roanoke was the very first European settlement in America. It was settled here in 1587. It was 117 settlers coming over from Europe, sent over by Sir Walter Raleigh, if you know your names and histories. They were sent over, and as soon as they landed on Roanoke Island, which is kind of near North Carolina or Virginia area, as soon as they landed on Roanoke Island, they were befriended by a group of Sakotan. Sorry, a group of Native Americans from the Sakotan Nation. The major contact there was a native named Manteo, from the Sakotan tribe, and it was great because the Sakotans really helped them kind of adjust to the new world, new treacherous land. A lot of the Europeans didn't really know what to expect when they came over here, so having a tribe that was very friendly to help them out was a huge benefit. What ended up happening was the guy who was the leader of the company out here, his name is John White. John White has been known as the very first governor of Virginia, but we'll get into that a little later. John White and his wife Elizabeth had the very first child born in America. History lesson. Very first child born in America. Her name was Virginia, hence the name of Virginia, the state of Virginia. Her name was Virginia. And so it was, I think it was something like a month after Virginia was born, John had to go back to Europe. And so when he went back to Europe, something happened and he had to report back to the headships of Europe and everything like that. So he goes back, and then he tries to come back to Roanoke. When he comes back to Roanoke, everyone's gone. There's no trace of anyone living there. Where all the houses and settlement was, it was just completely gone. It took him I think it was about a year and a half to get back to Roanoke. So it wasn't just like he took off, came back, and 3 days later everyone's gone. But during that time frame, everyone is gone. There's no traces of anybody around. The only trace of human existence is a word carved into the side of the tree, and that word was Croatoan. Since then, biggest mystery inside of the United States. It's the very first European United States mystery. We've had mysteries beforehand because natives were here a long time ago, but very first European murder mystery history, escapades. What's trying to figure out what's going on. I've always fell in love with the story. I thought it was a great story ever since I started learning about it inside history. I found this book about 10 years ago. Lee Miller is a Native American author. She does a fantastic job with this story. She does research on it based both upon Native American writings and stories and histories that have come down, and also the European writings and the journals and diaries and other things from the people of the time. What's really interesting is her ability to tie both the European and the native stories together, so you actually get a good picture of what happened with this mystery. If you like mysteries, it's a great book to get. If you like history, it's a great book to get. If you want to read about Native Americans, it's a great book to get. I love this book. It's awesome. Lee Miller, she did a fantastic job with it. So, as a recap, three sets of Native American type of artists out there, right? We got Medicine Dream, which is a Native American band I really dig. We got Chris Eyre and Smoke Signals. Chris Eyre is the director. He does a lot of Native American films. Really good stuff if you want to go get it. And you got Lee Miller with her book Roanoke. Lee Miller's written a couple other books as well, but Lee Miller's Roanoke is a really fantastic read. This is Enoch, day 4 of Native American History Month. I hope you enjoy that, and I will talk to you a little bit later. Remember, go out and hug yourself a Native American. Bye!